Everyone calls me Shezi, which is my surname. I think it's easier on the tongue. So from high school, I've always been called Shezi. And some other people always say, that's supposed to be your father, not you. But then it just stuck. I'm glad I came today, and I'm glad to see so many learners, and most importantly, so many teachers. I always get very nervous when I speak to learners because if I look at the story of my life, the greatest impact has been when I was as young as you guys. Because the stuff that I'm doing today, which is running, I run a small business which makes about, last year we made 6 million a year. This year we're going to make about 10 million. Next year probably 15. But the lessons that I learned in my entire life started in high school. A glass of water, my water there. So I'm from a rural area. So at home we only had electricity in 2001. That's when I finished university and I paid for it. I paid ESCOM 5,000 rand. They were refusing to put a line. So I had this computer I had bought using my bursary money. So, because I had a bursary with Spornet. Initially it was Anglo, long story. But so at this computer that I bought cost me 7.5 grand. So, because I got an A for my maths at school and I got an A for science. So I had to choose between UCT and VETS. And I chose UCT because UCT offered me more money to come and study there than VETS. So VETS was going to give me, there was something then called an entrance merit scholarship, which was designed to attract people to come and study at those institutions. So VETS was giving me 2,000 rand and UCT was giving me 15,000 rand. Yeah, I think, can't remember the exact figures, but it was a big amount. You know, from a guy who comes from a rural area in Ndwedwe. So, with that first amount, I first bought a Technics Hi-Fi, you know those big ones. Because I thought I'll pull the ladies into my room. That strategy didn't work. So eventually, because I was extremely shy then, I eventually sold the Technics Hi-Fi and I bought a laptop. Not a laptop, it was a PC then. There was not much laptops then. So, having done typing at school, it was easy for me to buy my own laptop. And when I'm looking at the stuff that I'm doing now, like last week I registered a patent for something I can't tell you, which I wouldn't have had that patent if I didn't have a computer, if I didn't sell the Technics Hi-Fi and bought a laptop or a PC instead. But I'm digressing. I'll come back to the teachers. So, but I'll still come back to the learners quickly because I've got 6 minutes now. Yeah. I got married last year. Yes. Yeah. So at my wedding, I had 200 seats, you know, because the hall could only take 200. But in that wedding venue, I reserved 4 seats for my 2 best teachers. One was my maths teacher, and the other was my Afrikaans teacher. Ik praat baie big Afrikaans. Baie big. In fact, 2 weeks back, I was in Germany doing a deal, and because the German and Afrikaans are pretty much similar, so to buy my way into these Germans' hearts, I could just spread a big Afrikaans and they will understand. And there I came back with an exclusive import license for a certain product that I can't tell you yet. But yeah, that was what I did last week. So. And the other teacher was my maths teacher. Now she she was from a family of teachers. In fact, there's a bus stop in Umlazi called Kwatisha, which means teacher's place. Because all of them, her great-grandma, grandma, all the brothers, all the sisters, all of them were teachers. It's in Peace section in Umlazi, next to the stadium, King's Olitini Stadium. It's not far from the Roman Catholic Church, beautiful place. Anyway, this lady made me to love maths. She taught me only in standard 6 and standard 7. She simplified the stuff, you know, the solve for X and solve for Y. It was a piece of cake after I'd done all these factorizations and all that stuff. So, fast forward, so she resigned from teaching in end of standard 7 and became an actuary. An actuary, one of the most best paying professions in the country. You earn probably about 100,000 rand a month if you do that job. You do a lot of math stuff. So there was my maths teacher. So we're still very close. So those are the 4 seats I reserved in my wedding, because I think the value of teachers cannot be underestimated. For example, if I hadn't been good at maths in standard 6, because in matric we had the worst maths teacher in the whole world. The guy didn't know a single sum. Like, as a joke we always do was, whenever we didn't want to study, we'll just give him this problem and say, "Sir, I was battling all night with this problem. Can you assist and just help me solve it?" And the guy will spend 2 hours trying to solve a problem. 2 hours. And then, like 10 minutes before the end, one of my best friends, who's now like a multi-millionaire farmer, will stand up and say, "But say, I tried this method. What do you think of this method?" And quickly he will do the sum in like 2 minutes. And then the teacher will say, "Oh yeah, that's another method." So there was, okay. So that was my matric teacher. But despite that matric teacher, I was still able to get an A for my maths, an A for my science, a B for my Afrikaans, a B for my English, a B for electronics, I think, blah, blah, blah. But really, like when my results came out, I could decide what I wanted to do. Like I wasn't the guy from the rural area. I was a guy with options, and I could study for free. I think that's the main thing that's important of teachers in those lessons. I think if I could stop probably there, and then, okay, just in closing, like the word in closing, the pastors use it all the time, just when they are starting. So I'm gonna really close, but long story short, my first 5 businesses that I did in school, then I'll close, is in primary schools. I helped my mom to make fat cooks and fried fish, because she was a teacher, and teachers then, well, didn't pay too great. I'm not sure how it is now. Oh, still. Okay. We'll fix that. Don't worry. We'll write to the minister. So she used to sell fat cooks and fried fish to supplement her income. So I would help her do that stuff. So then I knew how to make money from dead fish. And I would sell it at school and bring back money, and she will give me my share. And I will keep my share and not spend it. And when all her money is run out, she'll come to me and borrow. And she's never paid me to this day. And then in high school, I sold cookies. Like, I sold cookies. I went to the Macro Trade Center. It's dead now. It's the equivalent of Macro. I would buy cookies and sell them to the guys, because I was in boarding school. I would sell cookies at 9 p.m. just after dinner, before the guys went to sleep. They were starving. So they would buy my cookies at any price. And I made money. So I stopped asking for pocket money from home in standard 6, because I was making all my money myself. The last time my mom gave me money was in standard 6, June, July, around there. And from then on, I never asked a cent from her, because I knew she didn't have much money. And then I did junior achievement. Oh yeah, done. Then I did junior achievement. which helped me learn to make proper stuff, like print t-shirts and make key rings, and actually sell stuff. So my business now that I've done, that I was boasting about, the first thing I had to do when I started was to put away my suit. But I was wearing a suit. But I had to wake up at 5 o'clock, go to the airport, which is where our business is, and stand by the valet parking and ask the guys who are parking, hi, say, my name is Shezi, I'm a panel beater from Scratch Mobile. Can I repair your car while you are flying? And when you come back, it's definitely going to be ready. So that took an initiative of having to sell stuff. If you cannot sell anything, you cannot be a businessman. So practice now selling small, insignificant things. Then you can be able to sell people billion rand deals. You can't overnight be just a motip. So that's what I want to leave you today. But the last point, which I had written down, is having worked everywhere, having studied, go study, go get work experience, learn how to learn from a good boss, learn from a bad boss. But the main thing is that there's 3 things that I believe one should know in life, which have helped me a lot. You need to know exactly what it is you know. So if you know mathematics or you know how to do some computer geeky stuff, you need to know that you know that for sure. You also need to not fool yourself and know what it is exactly that you don't know. So don't pretend that you know stuff you don't. So you must be honest with yourself and say, I don't know how to do a PowerPoint presentation, but I can speak. And then, but most importantly, is to say, if you can't do a PowerPoint, you need to know who is it that knows what I don't know, and how do I get to them to help me to fill that gap. And basically, I think even today, that's how I've built. I think I've got about 6 businesses I'm running now, and they are all in industries that I know very little about. But just because I was in high school or at varsity with some guy who's now an actuary, who's now this, I'm able to do those things. Thank you.